What is up, guys? Frosty Osty 0232 here for another Frosty Features. Today we're going to talk about our first member of the War Dogs team, Black Panther 1 million BC. So, what Frosty is, for those of you who have not seen it before, what Frosty is, that is me, but Frosty Features, what it is a video. It is a comic book background on the toons that you use in Marvel's Strike Force, right? So, we typically stick to 616 canon. The 1 million, this is the beginning of the information, the 1 million BC storyline bridges two universes to my knowledge, the 616 and the 818. We will not be talking about the 818, but if you're interested, you can come hang out with me on Twitch and ask me questions about the 818. But we're going to talk about Bashinga. Alright, let's move on, actually. So, here we go. Let's dive in. Black Panther 1 million BC. You don't see him much in the comics, so this is pretty much the image I could find. Name, please forgive all of the pronunciations in this entire Frosty Features. Olomo Bashinga, right? So Bashinga is the main name that he goes by. Olomo Bashinga. First appearance, Black Panther number 7, 1977. He's been around for quite a while, but still doesn't make too many appearances because he is the ancestor of T'Challa, the, most popular and current Black Panther in the comics. But yeah, so first appearance, Black Panther number 7, 1977. There's a lot of clarification about the happens, just be aware, because this, for those of you who will follow Frosty Features, just so we're aware, to date, this is the hardest Frosty Features I have ever done. It took me multiple days to actually get all the information straight and to clear some stuff up. So here we are. Powers and abilities, Super Soldier, Panther knowledge. So, as someone who ingests the heart-shaped herb, in ancient times, before Bashinga, people would eat the heart-shaped herb and they would die, right? They don't get the blessing of Bast and they die. Bast being the Panther god, right? When they get the blessing, they get super soldier powers, pretty much equivalent to Captain America, super strength, super speed, super reflexes, super senses, etc. The thing that makes Black Panther have an edge over everyone else, essentially, is he gets the Panther knowledge, which, for those of you who are fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, works exactly the same as that. They have the ability to communicate with the other Panthers that came before them, right? Which plays a big, it's referenced in a big way in the Black Panther movies and the MCU. So it is that is a very important power that they kind of, that they use. Aliases, the Knower. Bashinga, being a tribal leader, was very intelligent, and he predicted a lot of things to happen, which led to him becoming who he was. We'll get there. Affiliations, the Panther tribe. Alright, let's begin with this. Bashinga, in Marvel's 616 storyline, canon, comic book thing, whatever, is not part of the Avengers 1 million BC. That is a different Black Panther. We're gonna dive into that. I'm trying not to dump it all at once, but boy, that's a different Black Panther, right? So, yeah. Background. The first king of Wakanda that united the tribes due to his discovery and use of the vibranium. So, I'm going to say it now, right? In the MCU, this is not a spoiler for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which just came out at the time of this recording. It's not a spoiler. They just say that Bashinga is the first Black Panther. In the comics, he was the first Black Panther until it was retconned in like 2010, right? But because it's been, 12 years since then, you have to count that as canon. So Bashinga is not the first Black Panther. He's the first king of Wakanda. He is the first person to unite the 5 tribes, and they agree to be what Wakanda is more or less like now in the comics, right? So, yeah, we'll talk about his use of vibranium and what he had to do with that, but I really want to point out all of the stuff that's in the Marvel Strike Force blog that says Bashinga did is nothing what Bashinga did. It was a different Black Panther. And that stuff was not referenced in a movie or anything, so whatever. The second Black Panther. There we go. Here we go. Let's run into that. Mosi who has all the, it's the second Black Panther, Mosi, who has all the excitement of Strike Force Bashinga. So all of the things that were in, Black Panther 1 million BC update on Marvel Strike Force website, on their stuff, all of that was actually the Black Panther Mosi and not Bashinga. So the Avengers of 1 million BC, fighting Black Skull, all that stuff, all of it was Mosi. None of it was Black Panther. Wakanda was not a unified force at that time. Bashinga is a totally different guy. Totally different. And since the 1 million BC Avengers don't exist in the MCU storyline yet, that doesn't count either. So they just took the story of Mosi and put it with Bashinga's name, because Bashinga is the first Black Panther in the MCU canon, right? So once again, we talk about, I said it earlier, there's different versions of the Earths in Marvel, right? So the main storyline is Earth 616, not the 616 in, not the 616 that the MCU claims to be. The MCU is designated, it's like 159999, 15999 with 4 nines. That's the MCU, right? And then 818 is a storyline, that's the storyline that the 1 million BC Avengers take place, where Black Panther actually, where they actually do something, and then there's another storyline where they get just freaking killed. So anyway, the 818, 616, 159999. In the 616, Mosi is the first Black Panther. He is the one that is part of the Avengers of 1 million BC. It is a retcon, but that entire storyline is the retcon. You can't go back on that. I don't know what you're doing, Scopely. And Skybreaker Sword and Spear of Bashinga. So Skybreaker, it being the sword that Bashinga uses to fight. These are the first vibranium weapons that are crafted. Bashinga is the first person to actually be able to figure out how to use vibranium to craft tools and weapons with his son and daughter. They went and they smelted and they messed with it enough to figure out how to use it. And he made these tools for a very specific reason. So a vibranium sword called Skybreaker and this vibranium spear called the Spear of Bashinga. His name becomes very big in the lore of Black Panther. Once again, he still doesn't show up that often, but his spear is the symbol of royalty for the Wakandan royal family. So, when you see different symbols and stuff around their halls that are shaped like a spear, that is the Spear of Bashinga. So, we're going to go into this. Relationships, Wakandan royalty line. As far as I could find, and as far as I could tell, and as far as I know, Bashinga has kids. And it references his kids in the small stories he has, but it doesn't give them names. But presumably, it is in that same line in the Panther tribe as T'Challa. So in that essence, T'Challa is Bashinga's great grandson, maybe. I don't actually. There's a big gap from 1 million BC to here, and actually Bashinga's not even at 1 million BC. He's a few years after that, but they name him Bashinga in the blog post, so it has to be him. Notable events: Mena Nagai and Moshi's events. So let's talk about the Mena Nagai. So this is the most important thing. This is the story of Bashinga, right? So so Mosi's actually the one that witnesses this, but a meteorite falls from the sky. It's a large meteorite and it hits the ground, right? Moshi witnesses this, and it contains vibranium. They don't know that yet. So by the time Bashinga becomes, he's this warrior from the Panther tribe. They are not united, whatever. He kind of receives a vision that the cosmic energies that are emitting, so the vibranium has a radiation, and we don't explore this much in the MCU. They really could have, and they might maybe in the future, but they haven't. Vibranium has a kind of a radiation to it, right? So there's a cosmic energy presence, and Bashenga has this vision that the cosmic energy is going to erupt. So he goes to the mountain and he kind of inspects and tries to figure out the different things within the mountain, and that's when he finds the vibranium specifically, and he starts to mine it, because in his vision he sees that if he creates these weapons, and this is the previously aforementioned Skybreaker and the Spear of Bashenga, if he creates these, he can essentially siphon off the cosmic energy from the mountain and stop it, kind of like let out some of the pressure and stop it from blowing up. And turns out he's correct. He crafts these the first vibranium weapons, Skybreaker and the Spear of Bashenga. He climbs to the top of the mountain and he raises them in the air, and he feels the energy go into them, and he throws them to the west. And where the Spear of Bashenga hits is established the like town of Bashenga. Oh, I've got the wrong notes pulled up. Their city, their first the place where they decided to establish the royal city is Biren Bashenga, and it starts at that point where his spear entered the ground, and that's how they established the beginning of Wakanda. And because of his use of the vibranium weapons and him saving everybody and like making a big deal about it, all of the tribes are like, wow, this guy knows it, he should be our king. And all of the tribes unite, and all of a sudden we have Wakanda, the united front of the 5 tribes. So that's sort of that's his big story. That's like 95% of the information about Bashenga right there, right? Which is why the next thing I want to talk about is Mosi, because what is described in the Marvel Strike Force blog, in the update, whatever, as I said before, it's wrong. It's all about Mosi. So this is what they're talking about in that Marvel Strike Force thing. So with the Black Panther Mosi, so put it in perspective, Mosi is the one who witnesses the meteorite, because in this, Bashenga is actually not there. It's just a random tribe witnesses it in the pictures that you're seeing. Mosi sees it, and with that, the earth becomes enriched with vibranium, and then the heart-shaped herb shows up, and a lot of people are like experimenting with the heart-shaped herb and trying to eat it, and they all die, and then Mosi eventually eats it, and he becomes the first person that is blessed by Bast. So what you see down here at the bottom is Mosi, right? So he is blessed by Bast to actually have the powers and stuff of the Black Panther. He is not the king of Wakanda, he is just the Black Panther, right? He's the first. That is the canon. It was a retcon, but it still counts. It's 12 years old. It's a thing. So anyway, Mosi, he is part of the Avengers of 1 million BC. He is the first to eat and survive the heart-shaped herb. There is ultimately what they come together for is Mosi recognizes that, or starts to see these rifts that are being opened by the cosmic energy around Men and a Guy, which I didn't say before, but it's Men and a Guy translates as the Great Mound. So he starts seeing these rifts, and from the rifts, these people start appearing, including Odin, the person who had the Phoenix Force at the time. So the Phoenix, Starbrand, who at the time was a Hulk, which you can kind of see there on the right. And then Agamotto, the predecessor to Doctor Strange. You can see a Ghost Rider, etc. There's a bunch of people just start coming out of these rifts, and Mosi kind of they warn of a coming angry celestial, and this celestial Zagreb, Z-G-R-E-B, comes back comes and he's looking for the progenitor, which is a celestial that is like within the earth or whatever. Yeah, I believe that's correct. The celestial lore gets all crazy to me. Ultimately, there is a celestial that is involved with Earth, the progenitor, and Zagreb goes to look for it, but when Zagreb finds the progenitor, he becomes infected with the Horde, and that's when because I believe in the blog post they refer to him as a crazy celestial or deranged celestial. He is infected by the Horde, and which is like the Brood and stuff, and he goes crazy that way, and then the Avengers of 1 million BC come together to stop the Celestial from devouring the Earth or whatever. So that is the first time of the Avengers. That is the first time all of those people kind of come together. And that is the story of the Black Panther 1 million BC Mosi, or Moshi, or Mosai, right? Not Bashenga. They succeed, by the way, and then they disband quickly because Odin was like, yo, Phoenix, let's get married. And Phoenix was like, get out of here, dude. And everybody else was like, all right, we're done. Peace out. Peace out, Monkey Scout. Okay, so that's what happened. So, power level. Marvel Strike Force doesn't really do power levels, but I do. So the way power level works over here at Frosty Features, multiversal means that you are a threat to reality and all realities itself at the same time. You can end your dimension, your universe, and another universe in one foul swoop. Universal means you can destroy your universe, maybe hop over to another universe and destroy that one. Cosmic means you are a threat on a planetary scale. You can destroy planets, and with enough effort and stuff, you can probably take out a solar system and maybe a galaxy if you've got a lot of aspirations. Nuclear meaning you have a power equivalent to that of a nuclear bomb. That meaning you could take out small cities, large cities, and with enough effort up to a planet, yeah. So, Super Soldier, one of our newest, it's our newest category. Super Soldier is, it is peak human condition plus you have super speed, super strength. Captain America level, Spider-Man-esque city level is now kind of your highly skilled regular people, Frank Castle types, your Misty Knights who have maybe some bionic, like a bionic ability, whatever, slight edge to a regular person. And then there's Greg. Greg is the undead Asgardian from Marvel Strike Force that Hella spawns, who now is a lot stronger, but for the sake of argument for this, he is as strong as a regular human being. So theoretically, if I had some sharpened edges of cardboard boxes and a lot of determination, I could theoretically beat Greg. Once again, now in Marvel Strike Force, as we sit here on November of 2022, Greg's actually pretty good. But still, for the sake of argument, human power level, that's Greg. When we're looking at Bashenga, when we're looking at Mosi, when we're looking at T'Challa, the Black Panthers all have very similar powers. The further away from the original Black Panther you get, the smarter they become. But at a base level, they are all set at that super soldier level because they have enhanced strength, senses, reflexes, etc. They are the epitome of what a super soldier is. Pretty much pound for pound the same as Captain America, which is some good stuff. Okay, that's Frosty Features, Black Panther 1 million BC. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, if I got anything wrong or if I left anything out that you like quite a bit. I did a lot of research into this Mosi thing, and like I said, it's a retcon, but it still counts as 12 years later. But in the MCU, Bashenga is the first. That's probably what they were going for, but they got their lores mixed up because I guess content or something, I don't know. But anyway, check it out. Let me know if you got any questions. As a reminder, I stream at 8 a.m. on Sundays, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time at the link above. Be sure to come give your boy a follow. And please, please, please like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything but a couple of clicks. And I hope that you all have a fantastic, fantastic week. And most importantly, y'all, stay cool.